I'd like to call this meeting to order. I am Chris Meter. If you'll notice, I'm not Jennifer Miller. Tonight with me, I have Rhonda Schwartz and Adam Young. Jennifer and Sean and Eric weren't able to be here, but we still have a quorum. We also have Todd Cook with us. And I think proper notice of the meeting was published, so.
Correct.
Okay, so, did we have any public comments that we received?
I had none.
Okay. We're just rolling down the list. We did receive a copy of the meeting minutes from previously. Were there any questions or comments or anything on those?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay. So those meeting minutes are approved by consent. Next up, approval of claims.
Most of the items on here are typical. One, we have a lunch at Big Woods when we were onboarding you,
Yep.
Chris, Grant and I. That might be a little atypical. Other than that, we had a water line burst at the 5242 building, and Carlisle Plumbing took care of that for us. So that'll just be a one-off. We had one of the appraisals for the Old American Inn site was on there as well. That's probably just a one-time, and then everything else is pretty typical. We've got Rundell Insberger payments and Veritas Group with regards to the Gateway signage project that we'll talk about a little bit more here further down the meeting. Other than that, pretty straightforward.
Do you have any?
No, I have no questions on those.
Okay. Well, then I need a move to.
Approval of claims.
I'll make a motion that we accept the claims as submitted.
And I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Expenses are approved. Next up, Director's Report.
Thank you. Could you pull up my computer, please? Just a quick update on the Wilshaw Hotel. I'd like to provide a brief update on the project. Would like to first thank our legal counsel, the Economic Development Commission, Town Council, for continuing to assist the SRC with exploring all of our options at this time. The Wilshaw project continues to morph and change almost daily, so even when we think we're close to the finish line, things can change. We continue to have weekly calls with Hotel Equities, and while the current senior lender has firmed up their position, the project's still working to secure additional partners to complete the funding necessary. We're using this time to make sure we've asked all the right questions at the right time and put the town in the best position for this to be a successful project. We'll not take any further action until we feel fully confident in any decision. Let's see here. Oops. Okay. Hopefully, not outsmart myself here. Okay. Got another brief update here on the Gateway signage project. The first ad came out for the contract today. Second ad will be April 3rd, and this is the concept of the checkered flag that we agreed on. And there's kind of a nighttime perspective as well. We'll be having a pre-bid conference on April 5th. Bid opening April the 18th. And hopefully we will award that contract May the 8th at the council meeting. So we're looking forward to getting this project off the ground, and should be complete this fall. Other meetings that I've had since our last get-together, the Founders Square Senior Apartment Developer, T&H Investments, met with them to get an update. They're coming along, starting to come out of the ground there. Avis and Young, which is a commercial real estate broker, North Peak Development, which is a developer kind of looking for opportunities in Speedway. Met with Noah's Animal Clinic, just to kind of hopefully get an idea. They purchased the old Union Jack, so just trying to stay in tune with what their plans are. 1820 Ventures, which is a housing developer, does a lot of townhouse type product in more in the core of the city, but trying to bring in interested parties to develop some housing. We also had our initial meeting of the Economic Development Commission a couple of weeks ago. Met with some folks from the City of Indianapolis Department of Metropolitan Development to see if there's opportunities for us to work together on projects. Also met with the IMS, which I typically meet with them monthly. Also met with the museum as well. They have a nice update project that they're working on there. I don't think much money's been invested there over the years. Had a meeting with Allison Transmission just to keep track of how they're doing and anything we can do to help. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation and American Structure Point. So had a pretty busy few weeks since our last meeting. Any questions about any other activity in the town? Or
No real questions, but it is good to hear that you're having these touch points with our bigger stakeholders in town. I like that it's strategy and that we want to make sure that we understand their needs. So I definitely want to highlight that. It's good to hear that that's some activity that you've got going. Because being that we are landlocked, we have to kind of really look for best use in a lot of space to the best of our ability, and then you being a conduit to the businesses and kind of allowing them to bounce ideas off you, I think is a very important component to that. So thank you for the update today.
Sure.
If that's it, then is there any new business?
The items that we had on the agenda, I did not receive the agreements from those parties. I had asked them to get them to me so that we could approve them tonight, but we can push that to April.
Okay.
Were you just looking, you're saying we just didn't get the signed agreements back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right.
So on to old business? With the annual report, I know this is the second time we've got it on the agenda. Were there any further questions or comments on that?
This is the report that they went through at our last meeting, so. yeah.
Jennifer Hudson
Yeah.
gave us the overview, and
Right.
We didn't take any action, so I think we just need a consent to accept it.
Yep.
And then we file it with the help of the clerk's treasurer's office into Gateway.
Yep.
Okay.
Just
You
entertain.
okay?
Yep.
Okay, consent to approve, or approved by consent,
Yep.
so.
And then just quickly on the American Inn, I have both of the appraisals, working with our counsel, Bob Clutter, on getting there's some right-of-way that extends across Woolco Lane that we need to get cleared up there. Bob is working with me on that as well, and has given me a couple of recommendations of past RFPs we've used to sell property. So he's working with me to get the RFP ready. So we'll get the right-of-way cleaned up and hopefully have that RFP for the next meeting. And then just quickly on 5242, the Heaven Sent building, where we leased it to the artist, Audwin. Handed him over the keys today, and lease officially starts April 1st. But he wants to get in there and start cleaning it up, get a coat of paint on it, and he's had 2 contractors come through in the last week or so, and I think he's got some good ideas, and he realizes that that's all on his side of the ledger. So we will look. He's got a lot of ideas. He's a pretty creative guy.
He's an artist.
Yeah, he is an artist. Yes. So look forward to working with him, and he just is really positive, and I think he'll be a good tenant. And as you know, met with the adjoining business owners around there too. So already, so they won't be parking in front of his building, our building anymore. So.
Well, it's good to hear, like, again, just, this was a building in Speedway that wasn't necessarily being used at its best intent. And so from a creative standpoint, you know, we were able to kind of get that out there, and then someone who has a business that could thrive in that space and honestly get a good visual from Crawfordsville Road, bettering the space and then getting it back out for the community to use and for a business to produce income, that's a success. So I like hearing that type of thing, so. Good stuff.
That's all I have.
Sure. Thank you. Do you have any community updates?
The only one I have is the Shred Day, which is Saturday, April 22nd. This used to be at the old police station, but I believe right now it's to be determined, so just watch the chamber, or not the chamber, but the town Facebook page for where that is.
I don't have any community updates at this time.
Okay. I have a couple. The Community Development Corp has been putting together some ideas on doing some tree planting. We would like to, or we've set out a goal to try to plant 100 trees by the 100th anniversary. And to that effect, we're hoping to partner with property owners. These trees would be planted along the major thoroughfares, so 16th, Lyndhurst, and all that. And the goal would be to try to fill in some of the gaps that are along those boulevards to try to reestablish the tree-lined streets. So to that effect, we've got about 30 property owners that we've identified that could be a potential along 16th, so we're going to be reaching out to them shortly and trying to get some community interest in that. Second update is the Centennial Planning Committee. We met about 2 weeks ago and had a great meeting. There were about 30 people in attendance, and it was kind of just a big brainstorming session. So we've got a lot of ideas. We'll be meeting again in April to kind of start putting names to some of those ideas, and, figuring out what resources are needed to make different things happen. So anybody that's interested, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to be involved, and a lot of different aspects. So kind of some long-term planning, some, day of, one-time volunteer opportunities. So stay tuned.
Fantastic.
That's all I had.
I will be on vacation for a week, starting Saturday to Saturday, so I'm available, kind of set aside my mornings for, anything that might pop up, because I like the sun, but it doesn't like me, so I
I'm the same boat, Todd.
I was a big believer in being out in the sun from 10 to 2. That's like the peak sun time. No, not anymore.
Yep. Okay. We'll have fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything?
Eder will be in charge.
All right.
Okay. If we don't have anything else,
No.
I think we can adjourn. Adjourning at 6:16.